It's not even close now. It's like
it's getting worse.
1/8 of an inch over here.
The funny thing about it was when he built this, the whole thing was supposed to be bigger.
The room was supposed to be bigger, not the table.
Table was too. I remember when he first showed me, I was like, so when you been building the other half? He's like, that's it.
This is the other half.
We went from a 10-foot long freaking table. I was like, why do we need all that? So I just did the same size table on 3 foot. But evidently it's not good enough for Warren.
Dad was complaining too.
Dad complains about everything. That's normal.
Don't look at me.
Wait for this.
Oh, well. Nick's already recording probably, so.
I hope so, because I was too.
All right, so are you done with the dust and the table and the drinks and the dogs?
No, what are the plus
Buttons.
and minus signs or whatever
Those
they
are a green button and a red button.
If
It's for
we
the-
think that you say something that people are going to like, you get a green one. If you say something that we don't think they're going to like, you get a red one.
Okay, gotcha.
That's for the wacky facts section.
Okay.
This is where I got my name, Little Button Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because he
I didn't
always
even know
wants
you
to
had
hit
that
the
name.
freaking
Warren
red
calls me
button.
that.
Okay.
Well, he has bad wacky facts most of the time, so.
We need to see if Joey's been keeping track of my numbers, because I'll bet my ratio right now is pretty dang good.
That's because I've just been lax lately.
No, it's because I had the internal podcast community vote against your communism.
No, they did not.
I don't think they
ChatGPT is who wrote against
Easton
it.
Jong-un. I did a declaration of independence from the podcast community that we were declaring that Easton no longer has sole discretion over the button because he just pushes the red button because he doesn't like me.
Oh,
It doesn't matter if it's a
gotcha.
good fact or not.
All right, are we ready?
We're ready.
All right.
You got to remember, people listen to this too.
What does that mean?
You're sitting here looking around, waiting for dramatic effect, and everybody is on the podcast.
I was looking at the fact that we have pretty much the whole family here
What do you
today.
mean pretty much? Literally.
No,
we're only missing the horses.
That's right. So I was going to say, other than not having
And Oxo.
Reggie,
Put Reggie like right through the wall, you know?
Reggie and Octavius, we don't have the cat and the horse. But other than that, we've got all 3 dogs. We've got Easton and Warren, and we are joined today as a special guest. We don't know if she'll get to come back or not till after we see how this goes, but we have Karin is here, my wife, the boy's mom, and
I only had to twist your arm to let me come on this.
well, that's not my arm. I don't
Aired out.
I don't hold the keys to this thing.
Oh,
You scheduled a lot of other guests lately.
yeah.
For sure. Well, that's because they don't do anything, but
What?
I don't
you guys don't schedule anybody?
Yeah, because we do all the other part of the business.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this has ever been done.
What?
A full family in the outdoor space on a podcast like this.
I don't know.
At least nobody that has any notable.
I'm
Audience.
excited for it because
Yeah.
everybody asks when they write in. I've probably had, I don't know, 15, 20 different times people have asked for, where's Mama Holder at? What's she doing? So it's been waiting.
Yep.
People have been wanting to hear.
Yeah.
So the title or however, I don't know what we're going to call other than Mama Holder visits the podcast. I mean, there's not a specific topic. We got lots of things we're going to try to cover today. Karin has a few notes that she's taken. She's come way too prepared for this podcast. But other than that, we're just going to kind of catch you guys up on where Karin has been. Before we get into what we're doing on the podcast, we do want to make sure that we invite you guys, go to the website. Yes, all the scents are in. We're still getting people that are saying, are your scents in? And they've been in now for about a month. And we've got everything. We got bundles. We got some new products and things like that. So you're going to want to take a little time, go there, shop around. There's apparel there. There's canine stuff there. There's Knox there.
Isn't there an exclusive deal for podcast listeners?
Yeah, our podcast listeners get a 15% discount because you're cool
On everything?
on the whole website.
All
And
right.
we do not do discounts, so
Yeah, so-
that's the only place you're going to be able to get one.
You better feel special. Nick will put it in the description. I'm pretty sure he does all the time, but I believe it's RHP15 crew. Yeah. definitely look in the comments because I definitely screwed that up.
Very cool. All right. So other than that, Warren's got a little housekeeping stuff. He'll let you know who's been doing their due diligence and writing the reviews. And then you story in today or no story?
We're switching gears. I've got a couple loaded up for land requests. Or whatever
people
we
wanting
call
to
them.
help to help them with their properties.
Yep.
Oh, from last time?
Yep, I've got 2 or 3 loaded. So if you guys have property, preferably the last couple that we've done I try to summarize what the topic is when you guys send them in. Typically, I'm getting a lot of access questions. So we will not continue to do access questions if everybody is asking access questions. When we do this, we like to, if you send us in your deer or your land, whatever you're trying to get questions on, we like to do unique ones so everybody can kind of relate to different ones, or we do different topics and things like that. So we do have a couple right now that are different. But if you have things that you want to send us your Onyx pins, it is all confidential information.
Well, it is until we share it with everyone, and then it's not so confidential.
Okay, don't listen to him because we do not share with anybody. We do not tell anybody where your stuff is because that would be a cardinal sin. And we'll talk about what we would do in your situation. So send them in to contact@raisedhoney.com.
On Spotify, we're only 12 reviews away from 400 5-star reviews.
Nice.
So we can please have 12 of you that haven't done it yet. Just go give us a 5-star, please, on Spotify. So, but to the other 382 of you, thank you a ton. Now, we did have one toad load out there that must have means that they are.
He just came up with that, but it made sense.
Yeah, they're a turd, right? Because they must have given us a 1-star.
Oh, so now you have a 4 average.
No, we have a 5 now again.
Okay.
But there was a stretch there where we had a 4.9, and it had to have been one person.
Yeah.
And so then I don't know how Spotify averages it out, because technically it would be impossible to get back to 5, but somehow we've done it. So we just need 12
took the vast majority and was like, this person was just a jerk, and they got rid of him.
You're a jerk.
Well, they do math sort of like you just did, because your 382 other people only equals 394.
I meant 388. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
And then on YouTube, William Ayers, SP4TT, he said, great episode, guys. I learned a long time ago, never trust any government agency, federal, state, or local. All are corrupt. Too much money is involved, and these agencies do not have our best interests at heart. Not saying there aren't some good people working for them, but they are handcuffed. Dr. Deere, James Kroll, has some great posts on this stuff. Yeah, we kind of went over some of that too. Eric S. 007, another great podcast, guys. Keep up the work. Jeremy Rupsick, interesting conversation, guys. Love all the science behind managing wildlife. T. Dweez D60, great podcast. Warren, you asked a lot of good questions that a lot of hunters have. I've been told about CWD living here in PA, but I've never heard the story about it starting with sheep in a testing facility. Seems the government has some issues with diseases and testing facilities. Keep up the good work. Which I did not realize how similar that was to
COVID.
Yeah, and I think I
COVID
even used
wasn't
the
a
reference.
testing facility. They put that out.
No, remember somebody ate a bat.
That's what they said.
That's how they said there was original story was that somebody ate a bat in China and contracted COVID.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought,
and then they decided later on
pretty
to say
open.
that.
I thought they got
obvious.
bit by a bat, not ate the bat.
Well, it had something to do with a bat.
Yeah, it did, but I think it was that they got bit by a bat.
That probably ruined so many kids' dreams of becoming a vampire.
It shows you how stupid they think we are. Eric Robards, 1209. Great information, guys. It's crazy how these two diseases can be mistaken for each other. And then Drop Time Creations. I thought this was a pretty good one. He says, I don't know if you can find an answer for this, but I believe that the agencies get government funding to test for CWD. That may be the real reason all these states are doing it. I'm in West Tennessee, and we started this a few years ago. And now, next year, they're going to make it to where we can bait. That doesn't make any sense.
Can confirm.
They
get grant money.
100%. They're getting money for quite a bit.
A significant amount of grant money.
Okay, well, so there we go. That answers a lot of it right there.
We do have another contact that I believe if you guys are wanting us to follow up on this, there would be a lot more raw, a lot more information, and a lot more to the point on CWD, and we're probably going to get in contact with him regardless. But if you guys do want to hear more about it on a more detailed level, unbiasedly from a government agency, we have somebody now that we could talk to. That is, he already got North Dakota.
Unbiased, or
Did I say biasedly?
you said unbiased?
Unbiased.
That's what I mean. He's unbiased. Like, he's not a government person.
Yeah, but he might be biased the other way.
Oh, well, yeah, but the other one, freaking.
That's okay. Just kidding.
Well, I feel like we kind of all went into that unbiasedly, but I mean, I was hoping for an answer one way or another.
I still don't agree that.
I don't agree with it either, but I walked into it hoping that they would give us something that is
Absolutely.
legitimate.
I will go this far as I think a lot of people think there's conspiracies and things like that. I don't. I think that the states are trying to do something with something that they have going on, but I don't think it's as big a deal. I don't think that it's as big a problem. I think EHD is a much larger problem for the white-tailed deer.
So you do think it's a conspiracy then?
No, I don't.
You just said that you don't think that it's that big of a problem, and they're making it out to be a huge problem in some of these states.
Well, here's what I would say in defense of the states, and I don't really care. I think that they're defending the fact that they got this money coming in. They're trying to be like they're getting to add biologists and veterinarians and things like that are working on stuff. Well, that can work as a positive for us because I can tell you in particular the deer that's right over your head, when they tested him for CWD, they also tested him for EHD, and we got a confirmation of it. I probably wouldn't have got that information.
You just still got it.
How? Well, who would have
already doing it?
No, that's what they wouldn't be doing if they didn't have the
change?
money from the CWD grant money to have that person there.
What does that change, though? I mean, the deer's still dead, and they don't have anything that's going to keep him from.
Well, hopefully, we're going to eventually get ahead of whatever it. I'm hoping they'll start working on EHD.
But I don't think their goal is to have more deer. I think the goal is to.
You think the states want to have less deer?
I am telling you, you need to go see Missouri. And see what they were doing down there.
I can't.
And I don't know that it's
Missouri.
the state's goal as much as it is whoever is donating the money for the CWD stuff.
Well, I could see insurance companies and things like that having a reason to want to have less deer. I don't believe the states, the state local, whether it's DNR or FWP or whatever it may be. I don't think that they have any reason to not want those animals. There's a lot of money brought in through hunting.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if you just have to look at the sides of the industries that might be making donations to this and or it's like lobbying, right? When they want a certain oil bill passed, they're putting in ridiculous amount of money into that lobbyist pocket to get what they want. That's where, like, I think if you look, I'd looked at this before. It's a deer car crash collisions cost insurance companies like $1 billion a year.
Right.
And so if they can mitigate 5% of that, and then the other thing I didn't know is, you know what insurance companies run off of as far as a net profit margin?
No.
It's like 1 to 3%. So if they can knock down just that portion by 10% and spend anything less than $100 million, that is a significant bump in their profit.
I don't doubt that an insurance company would not have a reason to do try to eliminate the deer. I mean, yes, 100%. But I just don't think they have the control with the states. I don't think they're going to convince the state to get rid of all the animals, because I do think the state would lose more money.
I don't know. It's all they're going off the fact that you two are still talking about this. I'm going to go with. I can go ahead and get the other gentleman here because he will answer a lot of this, and he's successfully gotten it removed from a whole state himself. So he knows what he's talking about. He'll answer all questions you guys got.
Yeah, he must have had some pretty valid points if he was able to do that.
Oh yeah,
he did.
He's not even a biologist.
I listened to.
He's what?
He's not even a biologist, and he got it out. It took him 4 years. But John Armin is the one that got me connected with him.
Yeah, I think
our
that'd be a
main
good
squeeze.
idea.
So yeah.
I listened to his podcast, or I guess it was a podcast that he did.
Yeah.
And it was good. I mean, he has super valid points.
All right. Well,
that was a great podcast, guys. So next week, Karin will be back, and we'll actually talk to her. So, welcome.
This is just like the dinner table. This is what happens all the time.
Yeah, we got kind of.
Unless it's about horses.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you guys want to start? Well, I guess first thing is we need to know where you've been. That's the number one question that everyone's asking. Where did you go?
Where have I been since when?
Well, we had, everybody knew you around for 10 years when we had the shows and everything, which now was 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
So there's been some gaps here where we get to see you on social media and things like that. But other than that, there's no more Karin, really.
Yeah.
So,
It's
what?
been 4 years since we
Yeah,
had.
2.
I was going to say.
3.
We aired in
2012.
2014. Was the first year we aired.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it when
Last
Mom
aired
wasn't,
220.
because everything's
Okay.
a year and a half
2024.
behind, 2 years behind.
Yeah.
Is, you know, 'cause season 10 was me and Dad the whole time. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a hot minute. But what I guess,
What have I been doing?
yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. I retired.
Retired to
kidding.
horses.
Yeah, no. No, well, a couple of things have happened. Number one, you guys grew up and were able to take on more of the role that I was playing in the raised hunting a business. Let's put it that way. But in addition to that, I mean, I have a career. You know, I have a financial wealth practice business that I I didn't set it aside, but I wasn't working on it and growing it while I was helping grow raised hunting. You know, I was doing both things, and raising a family and everything else that was going on. I wasn't able to give my full attention to that. And I guess we mentioned COVID a little while ago, but you know, it was probably around 2020 where I got to the point where I really wanted to focus on my wealth practice again, and I wanted to deepen the relationships with my clients. And I wanted to do that in the way of incorporating Christian financial planning. So I decided to go back to school, and I got a designation called the Certified Kingdom Advisor designation so that I could incorporate Christian financial planning into my business. So that was an intense 8 to 9 months of studying. That was probably the beginning of when I stopped hunting so much, because I was writing papers. And I remember one funny story is, in Warren, I'm pointing at Warren because he was involved in this, but the year I was doing this, I was trying to get out and hunt, but I had these essays and these papers and things that I needed to do. And so one Saturday afternoon, I wrapped up my paper, and it was probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And Warren said, well, let's go hunting. We were supposed to be going hunting, but I had kind
Weren't
of
sure if you were going to be able to get that done.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to get the paper done. So anyway, but he came over and we got ready to go, and we decided to take off down through our property, and we walked to the tree stand. I'm jabbering the entire time. I honestly was not, my headspace was not into hunting, but I knew it would be good for me to get out. So I'm jabbering the whole time about my class and talking to Warren about all these things that I'm learning. He's probably like not even paying any attention because he had no idea what I was talking about. But we climb up into the tree stand. He gets up first because he's filming me. And so I climb up and don't even have, my bow is not in the tree. I don't have my jacket on. I don't have my release on. I'm not prepared in any way, shape, or form. And he starts saying, Mom, there's a buck, a big buck. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. Yeah, right. I mean, and he's like, I am dead serious. He's walking right to us. And I'm like, well, is he a shooter? And he's like, yeah, he's a shooter. So I hadn't even laid eyes on this deer. I had, like I said, didn't have my safety harness on, didn't have my release on. My bow was not in my tree, nothing. And so I just quietly, really easily, the buck was coming from this way. So I just turned this way and I slowly pulled my bow up, got my release on, got my arrow knocked.
Did you hook her in for her?
Huh?
Did you hook her in for her?
Yeah, but she was also like an eagle when I told her because she was putting her coat on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's like this with trying to get her jacket on. Because I mean, like I just climbed up and I heard something. And I was like,
Yeah.
no way, that's a deer already. And I look over and then I see feet. So I'm thinking, because it was in the middle of the rut. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I'm thinking, spike, fork and horn, something. And so I do wait a minute, and I know Mom doesn't hear because she's just over there working on getting her jacket on.
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting for him to pop out, and he pops out, and I see his rack, and I'm like, oh,
That's good. Dude.
and yeah, and Mom's got half a jacket, and so I hooked her thing on. Well, she got it down enough that I hooked her thing on, and then I'll let her finish with the story.
Harness. Yeah. Well, thank goodness I'm left-handed because so I'm able to do all, get ready over here on the right side. The buck was coming this way. And so I pull up my bow, I get my arrow knocked, I get my release on, and I have just enough time to turn around, draw, and shoot, and crushed him.
And
Didn't do anything.
Nothing. And then I go back to my college class.
mind you, she's pulling her bow up. This deer is not like at 60, 70, 80 coming in. He's at 30.
Yeah.
He's already well in shooting distance, and Mom is pulling her bow up because I'm telling her, like, hurry, 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 and he doesn't pay any attention. And she's like putting on her releases. He's literally 20 broadside, just keeps walking, and then she just, poop. I mean, it was the fastest hunt on earth.
God had to have been saying, it's
crazy.
okay. We're going to let this one go. We're
Yeah.
just going to give this one to Karin.
We're going to help her out.
He must have done something really bad. So it was time to get him out.
Yeah, the deer. Yeah. So
Ended
anyway.
up being a 5-year-old deer, too.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
He was a good one. Really good one. But yeah. So I decided to, gain more knowledge and be able to serve my clients deeper by following biblical principles and wisdom within my financial planning. And so I got that Kingdom Advisor designation.
Will you go get that, Nick?
And so I've been working on that for quite a while. Yeah.
Probably the post office. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I have questions for you.
Okay.
If you were to look back,
Come here.
let's do this. Let's split it, and let's say pre-Easton and I, and then let's say post-Easton and I. What is your number one best hunting memory? Like, there's one hunt or one thing that happened during a hunt, or just one thing pre-Easton and I, and then post-Easton and I.
Okay. So that's pretty. The pre is pretty easy.
I think I know.
What?
The moose. No?
No.
No, I was going to say, did I have him by then? No.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
did.
Warren,
Never
Warren
mind.
was, Warren was
Yeah,
born.
Warren
I
was
but
forgot I was born.
Yeah. No, actually.
just for those people out there that don't know, Karen's first archery kill was a moose.
Yeah. What's the odds of that?
I mean, that was her first bow kill, and she drew a cow tag. And but I'm not stealing your thunder. I just when Warren brings up moose, I thought people are probably going, "What?" And we lived in Montana, and so she had started to bow hunt and put in for this tag and drew it, and then so we went hunting, and her first.
Well, we weren't even hunting; we were scouting.
Yeah, we were looking for a place to camp so that we could hunt the next day when we spotted it. And then we snuck over, got within 20 yards, and
shot it.
So
you would think, let me make sure everybody knows that I am not a lucky hunter. You would think by these last two stories, you would.
That is
just
not
tilted
true.
his head like a freaking confused dog.
That is not true.
I am not lucky at all. I have worked so hard for so long. And I mean, what was it, 7 years before I even got a shot at an elk?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was long time.
Yeah, but you also don't go as much as I do or these guys do.
Right.
I mean, so if you're only going on weekends, if you only got a certain amount of time to go, you can't expect to be just it happened.
Right.
I don't want someone to think that you're not doing something right or something like that. You just didn't have the time to put in that some people do.
What I'm just saying is that, I'm not a lucky hunter, but I also do benefit from you guys helping me.
Oh yeah.
Because I do have a full-time career. You guys help set up tree stands and keep the research on the deer and where everything is and all of that. So that helps a ton for the fact that I can't be out there all the time. But back to your question.
But you call in all your own turkeys and stuff, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with my own made-up calls. They don't know what I'm saying, so they come over to find out. Yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah. So, the memory that I have pre-kids, it would be David and I hunting in Arkansas, and we were hunting in a swampy area.
Hurricane, I think, is what you're referring to.
Yeah, we were hunting in a swampy area, and
For deer?
I don't think I had. For deer. Had I started shooting a bow yet? I think I was shooting.
I don't think so. So what happened was she drew a special tag. You could publicly hunt there, but then they had a special draw for guns, and Mom drew the tag, and so we were able to go back in there and. It's kind of crazy that we're talking about this with what's going on in Texas, but floods were something you looked for, not to the degree of what they're dealing with in Texas, but you were watching the river. There was two rivers, the Cache River and the White River. And when those got real close to flood stage, that's what you wanted, because that kind of congregates the deer in the timber into certain areas. If it gets too high, then there was too much water and you couldn't go anywhere, which is what we experienced, I think, the day after where you're going. I think I know where you're going.
Well, so we go hunting again. We get there and the water had come up because we had been hunting there the day before. We left our stools and stuff there, and just decided we were going to come back to the same place. Well, we get there the next day and the water had come up and floated those away. So we ended up getting into a tree stand and sitting there for a while, and nothing was happening. So I decided to have a snack. This is another thing with me, is whenever I have a snack, that's when I start to see deer. So I'm eating an apple and I look over, and here comes a doe with a young,
It's
deer.
a fawn.
It's a fawn, but not
they're not spotted anymore. It's in the fall now.
Yeah, it's a fawn. But anyway, she comes walking up and she lays down probably 10 or 15 yards from my tree stand, and the fawn lays right down beside her, and she just is sitting there, and because the water had gone down by this point. But she's just laying there, and you could just see her eyelashes. She's fallen asleep. And just the beauty of that was just a moment where I thought to myself, well, how else would I have seen that? I have this fawn and this mom, which at that point I wasn't shooting does because I was...
You're a mom.
Well, I think a lot of women will relate to this. I did not like shooting does. Shooting does was, to me, I was just like, I wasn't okay with it. And I have talked with a lot of women that feel the same way. They're like, I don't want to shoot doe because she's got fawn with her and she's got her job to do. And so that's something that over time I learned the importance of shooting does and learned about the conservation and when the right time is to be able to shoot does without it hurting. And it actually helps the population. It doesn't hurt the population. And so I did have to get over that. But at that particular time, I never shot anything that day, but I just was so taken aback and just thought the beauty of it and, what I was able to see because I was hunting. I would have never seen that before. And it was just a really beautiful moment. So... So that was pre-kids.
Post-kids, now we're going to find out who the favorite is, which we already know. But
I know what's
finally I'm not outnumbered.
What?
I said finally I'm not outnumbered.
You know what my favorite story is?
Oh, I do. But you pick whatever one you want. I'm not speaking for you. He put you on the spot. See, he didn't give you.
Can I have 2?
Yeah.
Okay. And so since it's pre and post kid, it has to be about kids.
Doesn't have to.
So,
It just be just 2 different time frames.
Yeah. So one of them was 2013. It was Easton and I.
Oh yeah.
When
I think it's 2014.
yeah.
Eat it. That's right.
So we were filming. Everybody was going in different directions, and David and Easton were supposed to go whitetail hunting. This was during October. Football season was going on, and we were filming a story about the football teams combining. Tanner, yeah. And so turned out to where nobody could go with Easton. I had volunteered. I said, well, I'll take off work early and I'll pick him up from school and we'll go hunt. I'll film him and he can hunt his whitetail. And nobody believed I could do it. Everybody was like, she's not going to be able to film him. She's not going to be able to get everything set up in the tree and get everything, set up right. So before we went, I practiced with the ratchet and getting the camera in the tree and making sure everything was, because I wasn't I filmed, but I wasn't the best at it. Right. And it wasn't a natural thing for me. So anyway, I had practiced before we went to make sure I could ratchet it in. That was the part I was worried about the most. But I picked Easton up from school and went home, and we didn't even go home.
No, we picked
where
we were going and
prepared, and we changed at the field.
Yep.
We changed at the field. I changed out of my work clothes, which it's funny because you're going from a business suit to hunting clothes. And so we changed there and walked over to the tree stand. Got in within. I got the camera all set up. Everything was done perfect. And here comes a buck to Easton's right. And he comes walking right in. Easton stops him, puts a perfect shot on him. I got the whole thing filmed, and within 45 minutes, I'm texting David saying, we just got it done. Easton and I got it done.
What deer was that?
He's a little not eight actually.
Yeah.
But from Shorty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's actually the perfect video where you see me draw.
If someone wants to see that actual episode about that we called that Mom.
Yeah. And Easton turns around, I love you, Mom. That was so awesome. So that was one, and then one with Warren. I keep seeing in my mind the hunt with Crown Royal.
Yeah.
With him, the first shot.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you that follow the show, that one is a 2-part story called The Quest. Was a life-changing event for me.
We've alluded to this one a little bit, haven't we, on the podcast?
Oh, I've talked. It was when we did some of our favorite hunts, or I think that was also one of my heartbreakers.
Heartbreaker, I think is what it was.
Yeah, and that's what I guess that's a great way to put it, because the story with Easton, that was a wonderful event. And then this is the highs and lows of hunting, because you have awesome things happening and you're on cloud 9, and then the next moment you could be in a pit. And you got to learn how to regulate and get through those different things. And so this particular instance was, we were elk hunting, and we had been elk hunting for several days, and hiking, and this was out in Montana, and it's we were working hard. I had been trying to get an elk for several years and hadn't been able to get it done. Well, in this particular instance, there was actually, let me back up a minute. This is another part of the story, and Warren is part of this too. And Dad was calling for me. This was a couple years earlier. My very first encounter with Crown Royal, when he was a younger bull. We were elk hunting, and David just decided to do blind calling. So we just had gotten to a point in the afternoon where we didn't know where any elk were. We didn't know if any elk were around us. We had no idea where they were. And so we had taken a little bit of a break. Well, David decided, well, I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk over here to the edge of the hill, and I'm going to bugle and see if I can get an answer. And so he did that, and he got an answer immediately. And so we hurry up and we get ready, and we scramble over and we get in position. Warren is filming me. Dad is calling, so he's back behind where he can't even see what's going on. But at that particular time, I had an effective range of 40 yards. I don't even shoot at 40 yards at an animal any longer. But at this particular point, I said, I will not shoot past 40 yards. Well, this bull comes in, and it's the bull we call Crown Royal, and that's because of the configuration of his antlers. Beautiful bull. He comes right in, and he's just marching his way right up to us. And I'm like, this is gonna happen. This is pretty crazy. Well, he comes in and he turns kind of to the right, and he stops. He stops 3 yards. I had ranged bushes. I always ranged like 3 different spots to see, what's 20, what's 30, what's 40. And he stopped 3 yards past the 40-yard marker that I had. And I didn't shoot him. I could have.
Yeah.
And I chose not to shoot him, which once he spun and turned around and ran away, that turned into a shouting match between me and my son, because he was like, why didn't you just raise your bow? Just raise it a little bit. And I said, well, I had said that I wasn't shooting past 40, and I'm not shooting past 40. And so I let that bull go. So I don't know. I mean, at that time, I was second guessing whether I did the right thing or not. And we've talked a lot about that over the years, and talked about
and I was a young, dumb kid.
Having,
but he was one mad, dumb young kid, because I was on the other side of the hill, and that's how I knew that something had happened. Either mom had shot or something, because all of a sudden I hear voices.
Yeah.
And then the voices get louder, and there's this heated debate, and I top the hill. I'm like, what's going on? And you guys are like, it was a big bull, and it's the bull that you call Crown. And Warren recognized that, and he's like, it was that bull you call Crown. And he came, I'm like, well, why didn't you get a shot? He didn't come all the way in. No, he did. He came right there. And I was like, well, how far is that? And Karin says, it's like 42, 43 yards. And Warren's like, and I told her it was close enough. Tell her. And I was like, no, I agree with Mom on this. If she wasn't comfortable, don't do it. And then Warren was really mad at me. He's like, Dad, just tell her to hold it this much high, And so I was like, if you're not comfortable, it's not going to turn out well. And she wasn't comfortable, so she let him go. So anyhow, I don't think Warren holds any animosity.
It wasn't heated anyway. It was.
Right,
I wanted to see Mom kill a
absolutely
giant bull.
Yeah.
What was the size difference here we're talking about? Because if it's 2-3 years from when she did get a shot, did he blow up? Did he give him,
I'll bet at that time he was
330.
You think?
I
was thinking 340.
Yeah, he was over 3. I mean, he's well over 300. He was a big bull then.
Oh, he was elite.
But he was nothing like what he ended up becoming.
Yeah.
So at any rate, that's again the fun part.
But that was just the first part. You didn't get to the second part.
Right. And where I was going there is that, just the lessons that you hear in all of this different things, and working with family, the experiences, because you wanted to see me shoot that bull. Well, it's not just me shooting the bull. It was us. I mean, it's when you're.
Oh, we all wanted to see that one good shot.
It's both of your success. It's not one person's success.
Well, that's where
you're sharing in the glory and the disappointment is what's happening in that particular. That happens with us a lot. You share in both things.
Well, and that's like for Easton and I and Dad prior, it's just a little different for us too, because 42 yards, our bows at 42 yards is going to be within an inch, most likely, of 40. Yours is going to have more drop than that. And so it's just, as a kid, reminding yourself of that. Yeah. When you have a 340 bull standing there.
Yeah. So at any rate, fast forward a few years, and we had lost track of him, of Crown Royal. We didn't know if he was still around or not. But at any rate, this particular hunting trip, we were out I was trying to get a good, respectable bull. And we had been hunting for several days and had several encounters that just didn't pan out, and had some really close calls. But finally, again, David does some bugling. We hear some answers. actually a lot of answers at that particular time. There was several bulls that answered us. And so we go and get set up. Again, it's me shooting, Warren filming me, and David is back behind. And the bugles are getting closer and closer and closer, and over the hill pops Crown. And he's a giant. I mean, I have the chills actually right now thinking about this.
Had you seen him since?
No.
Since the years before?
I
know you guys knew he was around, but
Yeah.
had you ever glassed him or?
I hadn't laid eyes on him. David had, because he had been guiding other people.
Yeah.
And he's the herd bull.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm like, I don't need the herd bull. That's the difference in women and guys. Yeah. Sorry, I was like, I don't need the herd bull. I just need a good bull. Well, anyway, so he comes popping up over the hill, and he's got 13 cows with him. And then there's satellite bulls all around him.
Chaos.
And it's chaos. I mean, and they are all coming, and it's, I'm this way, Crown's coming from over here. Satellite bulls are over here, and I'm thinking, okay, should I shoot one of them? Because they were good bulls too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, should I shoot one of them? And, and he's like, no, he's coming up this way.
Did you tell Crown was coming in?
I could tell Crown was coming, but the other ones too, they were a little bit further away.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would feel like to have a whole herd coming around you.
It was chaos. And then there was satellite bulls behind us.
Yeah.
So again, you're trying to, and then there was 13 cows, and the lead cow was the one that decided to come in. She came in looking, and she
on a line.
She was
just coming, right?
Coming.
Yeah.
The lead ones to be all paying attention.
Well,
the cows.
Whatever they decide, that's where everyone's going.
She's the one that's directing the band here, so to speak. So she's coming right to us, and you can see the line she's on. She's going to pass within like 20 yards, 25 yards, possibly is what we're thinking. And he's following right behind her, and he's got all these cows around him, and he's just bugling like crazy again. If you want to see this footage, go watch The Quest. And it's on YouTube, right?
Well, we potentially we're debating that.
We'll get there.
But we can make it available to our people if need be.
Yeah. So this bull is coming in, and he is the most magnificent thing you've ever seen in your entire life. He's just, in the fact that we had history with him before. But so he comes in, and the lead cow gets past me, and that's what we were worried about, because the wind was blowing this way, and we were worried. We were like, we cannot let him get past us because he'll smell us. Well, she was ahead of him, so she got a little ahead of us, and she smelled us. And no matter what you do to cover all of the scent, they're going to
find you.
They still catch something. Okay, so she smells us. I don't remember which way she went, or if she
just kind of trotted off to the left, and then he wheeled.
Yeah, he at this point wheeled and turned around and started going back, and I came to full draw.
How far was he at when she winded you guys? How far was Crown?
27 yards.
So you just couldn't draw yet?
27?
Yeah, he was probably at 30, because then he wheeled and ran out a little bit.
Yeah, so he was at 30 when he smelled us, and then he turned around and started heading back, and so I shot him at about 35.
35 or 40.
You couldn't have shot him though when he was closer though, because there's too much going. Like
no,
you got to full draw.
Yeah,
I wasn't. I couldn't hit to full draw because there was, like I said, there was all of these eyes around us, and his head was up. He was alert. She was watching, and if I wouldn't have gotten an arrow off.
That makes sense.
So when he wheeled is when I drew.
Nice.
Okay. So because he wheeled and he turned the other way, and I took that opportunity to draw my bow, and
you just judged the yardage though? Like you just knew in your head, you knew?
I just judged it. Yeah.
Good for you. That's impressive in that moment.
Well, I messed it up.
Your yardage was dead on though.
Yeah, height-wise, you were perfect.
My yardage was dead on, but I hit him back. I hit him way far back, but the height was perfect, but I hit him far back, and ended up losing him. That's a story in itself that we won't go any further. It's it's amazing how years later the feelings come back.
I've shared this one multiple times.
Yeah,
so you
can release his name too if you'd like.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah,
Well,
I can't
ended
remember
up,
that
so
guy's
I ended
name.
up
Jason Norman.
Yeah,
There you go.
I ended up killing that bull. But we didn't find him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The landowner's son found the bull,
And we looked for 4 days.
We looked for 4 days. We even got in a
planes.
plane. We had a local guy that was willing to fly me in a plane, and we flew the area looking for it because we did feel like that you made a lethal shot, but we couldn't find the bull. There was no blood to go off of.
Yeah.
And so we kept looking and looking and looking. Come to find out where he ended up finding the bull, we did fly over it, but he was up underneath the cedars, and I guess we couldn't see him because it wasn't until the following year when I came back to guide that the rancher told me that the landowner's son had found a big bull during shed season. And I was like, nobody called me because we told everybody.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, we're looking for this bull. He's very telltale. You can't miss him. He's got 8 points on one side. That's where he gets his name. Kind of looks like a red stag is where we came up with the crown name on the one side. And so anyhow, long story short, I end up finding out. I go talk to the landowner. Landowner says, yeah, I think my kid did find it, but he's not a hunter. He really didn't care. And the son wasn't a big hunter either. He just happened to find it. And so anyhow, we contacted him, asked if we could, hey,
verify it's the bull.
and he sent me a picture, and it was him for sure. And I was like, great, this guy's going to talk to us. Let's see if we can work something out. Even if I had to pay for it, I would buy the rack back from him or whatever. And he was just emphatic that no. Then it even got to the point where I offered to have a replica made that he could keep the replica, or we would take just the replica, but just something so that you would have some closure, that we would have the elk that Karin killed in our house. That was all we were after. I wasn't trying to take anything from this guy. I wasn't trying to blame him or anything. And he was just a complete asshole. I mean, and didn't want to have anything to do with. His comment to me was, well, finding the elk is part of the hunt. And I was like, I understand that. It's not like we weren't trying to do that. And so this was just one of those really shitty stories that's never.
You can feel the energy in the room already. I mean, as far as
we're typically not airing people out, but this one.
But I'll air that one out. Yeah. I mean, and
he had to have sold it or something, because otherwise, why would you not at least let us get a replica?
I don't know.
Well, and I mean, so I guess that was a very that's a heartbreaking memory, but it was so much about life and just so much about the things that you have to go through. Because I did quit hunting because I was there's number one, there's an enormous amount of pressure in the hunting industry to make good shots, make sure that you're, and when you're in the limelight, there's a lot of pressure.
You think that's amplified for women?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Sure. And especially on a big bull.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's some hate there. And, but nobody, I know I didn't finish the job. I know I lost my shit, so to speak.
Yeah.
And anybody that says, I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Chaos.
If you are loving what you're doing and you've got that situation, I mean, I lost it. And so it's 100% my fault. I totally own it. And that's why I said I'm not hunting anymore, because if I can't get in a situation where I can finish the job, I'm not doing it. The animal deserves way more than me not being able to finish the job. There's a lot more to that, obviously. So I just told the guys here, I was like, number one, I was terrified to tell the story, to put it out there. I was like, David, you are not putting this out in front of the hunting community. You're not doing that. And he's like, I think we should tell the story. And I was like, my heart is not in a place where I can handle that. I own it. I own the mess up. But there's just too much here that no. And so I had just hung my bow up, and I said, until I'm ready to be able to, I don't know. I don't even know if I thought I would ever hunt again, but I hung my bow up and said, that's it. I'm not hurting another animal like that. Broke my heart.
Yeah.
What do you think happened on the shot?
I didn't settle my pin.
Are you sure?
Well, that's what I think. I mean, I know that, with all there's a million excuses, but I think now, looking back at it, and now that I do have more experience, I have come back and shot a big bull, and I've shot other large animals and things that I just didn't, I can see it right now. I remember pulling and getting on the animal and shooting, but I did not get on the animal and pick a spot. And
I think that's where Warren's going.
Yeah,
I think she was rubbed behind the wrong leg.
I think she was zoned in. I think you were actually super locked in. And the reason I say that is
you got the full draw at the time you did with everything else going on, knew the yardage.
But hold on, but before you even get, and I want you to say what you're going to say, because I think I know where you're going. But the one thing that people need to understand, because I guarantee you, we got a bunch of podcast listeners out there that have not elk hunted yet, or maybe some of them have. It is so different. It is. This will take the best archer and freaking make him like an ant. It'll squish you. It is the most humbling situation to ever be in when a bull comes in screaming, let alone when a whole bunch of them come and the entire herd is coming right at you. Number one, you have time to think about it because they didn't come like running at you, and they're looking for me who's behind you, so they're all over the place.
Totally zoned in.
And it's just chaos. And an
unbelievable bull.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here kind of patting myself on the back at this moment that I even got a shot off.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
I mean, the fact what we got done.
To date, to me personally, that was the single most incredible hunting experience I have ever had.
Yeah.
I've never, because the other thing that was really crazy about it is I've never felt more a part of everything that was going on, because somehow Dad literally controlled that herd.
Oh, it was crazy.
But people don't understand. It was like there was a 340 type bull that came in 15 minutes before. Then we had we had another big bull that was 50 yards to our left that he might have even been 30, but she couldn't shoot because he was behind a tree or something, screaming in our ear. And then all of a sudden you just have something out of a dream where these cows pop up and they come behind. Then all of a sudden you just see this, and he had the waddle, this just gigantic rack and just screaming. And like even the sun was setting, and I mean it was like being in a painting. It was unbelievable.
The attitude of him, because technically wouldn't he be pushing the cows to Dad? It wouldn't be the cow leading him there.
No, she decided.
I was going to say, he's like pushing him through other bulls. He had to have been so confident that he's like, yeah, these are mine no matter what.
Well, he was. If I'm remembering, I haven't watched the video in a while, but, she was distinctly out front. Mm-hmm. And then it was him, and then he had his harem around him. And, but the thing is you don't call in the herd bull.
Or get the entire herd to decide they're coming to you.
That does not happen, and so that's another thing.
With one caller.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been fascinated at David's ability to communicate with animals, and especially with elk. It's just the most fascinating thing I have ever been a part of, and you all know exactly what I'm talking about. He's just got this sense and feels what needs to be said, feels what needs to be said when it needs to be said. And so that it was just a crazy experience.
What is your thought process here?
I think Mom was actually super locked in because she drew at the right time. He turned and she guessed the yardage correctly, which, like I just mentioned earlier, right, your draw weight and everything, you don't have the room to be off 10 yards like we do. I mean, 10 yards is even a lot for us, but 5 yards, you have to be dead on, and your yardage was exactly perfect, and you hit him right in front of the back leg. And my theory on that is I think that because you weren't, and maybe you were, but to me, as the one that was with you and filming you weren't losing your as he was coming in. I mean, you were pumped, but you weren't like... You weren't shaking uncontrollably and making bad decisions or anything like that. Yeah. You were still put together. And I think you were so focused on putting that arrow right behind his shoulder that, and then when you were at full draw, because you went to full draw as soon as he started to wheel.
Yeah.
And then that your mind just didn't take the time to comprehend that he'd flipped. And so when you're looking through your peep and he's so big, you're not going to be seeing his head or his rack or anything else.
Yeah.
That I think that you saw your sight housing and you saw your pin and you'd been focusing on this bull for the last 10 minutes coming right in, facing this way, that when that pin aligned right behind the shoulder, you just squeezed off and you hit him exactly where you were aiming, and you just had accidentally picked the wrong shoulder. Because if you think about it, and if you looked at that and you blocked it off, it would look they would look almost exactly.
Oh, can confirm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
After Warren said, all your pins are going to fit the vitals and everything, I'm thinking about the only one that I've shot. The only view I had was shoulder and one leg coming down and where my pin was at. And other than that, I didn't see a head. I didn't see.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the difference with deer and elk. Like if you're
so big.
Deer, you guys are probably thinking, how could you ever do that? You know, like you can see the whole deer and everything. And elk is so big that you could be, even at 30 yards, 35 yards, you're still only looking at a chunk of them in your sight housing.
I could see that being what happened.
That's my theory, because
Especially
otherwise
he wheeled around, right? He turned, right? He flipped
just
opposite
yes,
way.
he just
Yeah.
But she was already coming, like he ran like this a little bit before he wheeled, and she drew. So then I think she's getting into her peep and everything, and he's flipped, and she still took the time. Because if Mom was way off, I think her yardage it'd have been low too or high. And she's got the yardage. She's like, okay, he ran about 10 yards, takes it. And she didn't fling shot either. Like we should go back and time it from the time that he stops till you shoot. You take 3 to 4 seconds, which is about what it should take you to put your pin on there. And then you squeeze the shot off. And I think, so that's my theory, is that I don't think you did totally lose your. I think that he flipped, and your mind was so fixated on where you were going to hit him when he was going the correct way that you just accidentally put it in front of the wrong shoulder.
Well, I appreciate that. I guess we'll never know, but at any rate.
But what we did know, why I kept trying to push Mom to let's air this, is because so many people were going to deal with it, and so many people would understand where you're not the only one. And so I think it was 3 years later before we finally got to the point where we did air it, because you finally got back on the horse. We go and we hunt an elk, and you make a great shot and kill.
What the wonderful is, I have to tell this part because I was so down in the dumps after that, like I have already explained. And was adamant we are not filming this. And so I was wrestling with that. I was wrestling that in my mind, and I was praying about it, and trying to figure out, what does God say about this? And finally, you three had talked to me, and a fan had written in and had said, we'd like to see you hunting again, which made it. It was a woman who had said that she was interested, and she was really looked up to other women hunting, and it was inspiring to her. So that also helped me get back on the bus, so to speak. So anyway, so we had decided to go to New Mexico, and as we're driving down there, because we drove there, and it was hours of discussion. How are we going to tell this story without telling the story? Yeah, how are we going to tell the story without telling the truth? And that's what we're about. We're about telling the truth. I mean, we don't want to sugarcoat anything. I mean, that's what we've always done, is tell the truth. And so finally, I just looked at him and I said, "We just tell the story." And our cameraman in the back was like, "What?" And I said, we tell it. We just tell the story. And then we just piece it together with whatever happens on this hunt. And
because that was prior to the hunt. So we didn't know whether you were going to wound another one. We didn't know whether you were going to kill a big one, a little one, what was going to happen. But
the point was, I had reconciled it in my own mind, in my own heart, and I had worked through it to where, okay, there's nothing else that can be said or that I haven't already felt or dealt with that I feel like. And I'm like, this is okay. It's all right. Let's tell it. And so then the next morning, this is the opening day. The next morning, in New Mexico, we go out and maybe I am a lucky hunter.
Yeah.
Because within 30 minutes, I shot a really nice branch antlered bull. Really nice branch antlered, which crushed him at 36 yards.
Yep.
Yep.
Heck
I
yeah.
remember that we were,
Maybe I am a lucky hunter.
So we
Well,
walked
she's
out
got
there
it.
and called, and here he came and crushed him.
Yeah.
Well, there could be a whole book. We've written 2 books, but we could write a whole book on your hunts.
Yeah.
Because in Mom's defense, because I say she is lucky, but then she's had the oddest things happen to her. I mean, like just
Like a deer coming into a snort grunt.
yeah, whatever
I
that
made
was.
up one.
No, but I'm thinking like she shot a spike one time and we didn't think that, I didn't know, I wasn't there. I was calling. We didn't have this is before we had cameras, and I don't know whether she hit it or not. She's like, I crushed him. I mean, I literally crushed him.
Oh, a
Well,
spike elk.
Yeah, I topped the hill and there's a spike laying there. I'm like, oh, okay, well he's not dead, but turns out I'm like, this spike ain't hurt. He got up, started feeding. I was like, there's not an arrow hole in him anywhere. Turns out later on we find her spike bull laying 200-300 yards away. But what are the chances that there's another one laying directly in line with where this one went that wasn't, and it totally confused us. I mean, so
Yeah.
just
There's all
weird
kinds of
stuff
stories.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 50 stories like that of
So
odd things.
we probably went a little longer than anticipated, but I would like to use that or whatever you've learned, because I think you still live by a lot of the things you've learned with some of these hunts. Mm-hmm. And what are you doing now? And how is that affecting? Because now I believe that you are probably impacting more women, even more than you were then, just by being a advocate for hunting as a woman, and an example. So give us a little bit about what you're doing now and how you're helping and inspiring women, whether it's in hunting or not in hunting.
Yeah. So that is a major passion of mine. I want to give women a safe place to learn, whether it be learn hunting or learn, hiking or horseback riding or whatever it is. I believe that the outdoors and doing things out of your comfort zone is a way to grow, build confidence, build your faith, build community, all of those different things, a support system. I believe that it's needed. I believe women are looking for it. And I also believe that I have a lot to give, a lot to give. And so I created Rise Ministries. And what Rise means is reach, inspire, support, and empower. And what we do is we do women's retreats. We do a faith and pheasant hunt, which that you can find this information out on. I have a website. It's KarinHolder.com, and you'll see it has Rise, the mission of Rise, what our values are, and there's also an events page on there to where we have local events. We also have events that are in other places, and so the next retreat, so to speak, is in Nebraska, and we go pheasant hunting for 2.5 days and just build community. We do some devotions and study, but it's a place where women can come together and be supported, learn, like I said, learn something new or have an outdoor experience. And on that particular hunt, you're able to shoot something, clean it, and eat it that day. So I do love showing the full circle of putting food on the table. Where hunting isn't about a trophy; it's about nutrition.
Yeah.
There's lots to talk about with that. But this Rise Ministry has transformed lives. It really has, and the women that have taken the step and had the courage to know absolutely nobody, and sign up for one of our events, drive across country. I've had women drive, I've had women from California, from Montana, from Virginia, Pennsylvania, you name it, from anywhere, and take the step to come sign up for the event, show up and not know anybody, and have a weekend experience with completely out of their comfort zone.
Now, just so that people that are listening know, some of these women don't hunt. I mean, some of them have never hunted before they get into hunting. Some of them don't hunt ever. I mean, they just come there and then they can shoot clays. They don't, but if they want that experience of what you guys are doing, they're welcome to be, they're still invited. They don't have to come and kill a pheasant. They can come and just shoot clays or not shoot at all. If they just wanted to be a part of it, you guys will take them no matter how. I mean, they just got to show up.
Correct. Yeah. And it's about, learning some different skills and then carrying that into life, into your family and into your workplace and, just other avenues. So,
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So that's what in addition to my career, that's what I'm really focusing on is the Rise Ministries.
And the horses, of course.
Yes, the horses. We can't forget about the horses. Yeah.
All you men, if you want to do yourselves a favor and save, we'll have her link in the description so that you can check it out. Maybe you check it out for your wife if you really want some brownie points, or you send it to her and say, "Hey, babe, thought you really might like something like this," and you send it to her, and I'd be willing to bet they would be very, very grateful, and see if we can get some on there.
Well, interesting enough, I think back to the first few events, because I've been doing these events for quite a few years. Yeah. We've done archery events. We've done an archery hunt. We've done the faith and pheasant hunt. Next 2 weeks from now, we're doing a ride to Rise, which is we're doing a trail ride, which is a devotional trail ride with 10 women, where we some of the women have horses, some of them do not. But the whole point is getting together and experiencing nature, experiencing the joy of being on horseback, and then studying some of God's Word together. But what I was going to say there is that I can't tell you how many women have signed up because the men sign them up.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought it would be because, like, I just feel like there's a big animosity for a lot of men, like, don't want their women to be.
I think a lot of men want their women. Well,
they don't want to teach them to do it?
Well, think about it. I mean, David and I, as far as him teaching me how to hunt, he got so far, and then I'm sure I frustrated him.
Never.
There's just this husband and wife thing that you don't necessarily learn as well as, I'll tell you a second here, another story really quickly, but you can learn a lot from your husband or from another gentleman, but you really can learn a lot from another woman.
Yeah.
Somebody who you can mess up in front of, and it doesn't matter. You're not worried about disappointing.
We all learn better from somebody else rather than a couple. It's tough.
It's tough. There's just that energy there, and you don't want to disappoint him, and then you might irritate each other and stuff like that. But yes, so I've had a lot of men that encourage their wives and even sign them up. And I mean, I can think of Scotty. Mm-hmm. I know he wouldn't mind me saying, but Scotty is a gentleman that signs his, like, I text him and say, hey, we have a hunt coming up, sign your wife up, and he signs her right up, books her plane ticket, does everything, right then and there. And she's grateful for it, but she's busy with kids and other things. And so he just does it for her.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But,
so there's two trains of thought out there. There's the guy that doesn't think his wife belongs in the outdoors, so maybe he signs her up just to get her out of his house, out of his hair for a while. But then there's the guy that, like me, who really truly believes that if you aren't sharing the outdoors with your spouse or with a loved one or whatever, that you're being awfully selfish, that you owe it. If you're seeing things that, like all the things Karen's talking about, she's seen and what she's felt and what she's learned, what the time she spent with you guys couldn't have happened if we weren't outdoors. I mean, those were the situations where they happened. So if you're that guy that wants to see your wife or like I said, significant other get involved and you're not sure how to help them do that, this could be a great avenue into it.
Yeah.
And then the thing that we do it with Raised at Full Draw, and Karen does it here. You heard her mention a second ago that some women will have horses and some don't. That doesn't mean that some are walking. They'll have a horse for them to use. Yeah. Same with shotguns. So if they want to come on the hunt and you don't have a shotgun, we can provide a shotgun for you, or the place where we're at. If it's a bow hunt, we provide bows and things like that. So no one is going to be left behind because they can't afford it or they don't have exactly what they need. We want you to get that opportunity and that experience. So don't let that stop you. And
who this is for it's for every woman. So I have executives, top executives that come to these retreats and are a part of it. I have women that are raising families and staying home, and everything in between. So it's for everybody. There's not anybody that I don't know of anybody that wouldn't fit. I mean, it's just a wonderful experience, and so. Well,
especially for females wanting to go and do something different like that, they're going to go and do it with other females.
Yeah.
So I think that's got to be comforting too.
I think the other thing about that too, and this may be a bit of a controversial statement. I'm not sure, but sometimes women are afraid to do things with other women, especially if it's something competitive, because there can be that competitive feel there, and we don't breed that in our retreats. It is 100% supportive. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. We are going to support you and help you accomplish what you want to accomplish. If there's something you don't want to accomplish, that's fine. But I've had women climb up in tree stands that said, "I will never climb up into a tree stand," and then they climb up in the tree stand and shoot their bow out of the tree stand, and they're like, ask them, "Why did you decide? What changed your mind?" There's no way I couldn't. I said, "There's so much support here. There's no way I could have let these ladies down and not climb up in the tree stand." Well, that's cool. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. As a husband, I've gotten to be there a couple of times, not because I was Karen's husband, but we were filming. And so I've gotten to see a couple things, and being around a bunch of guys shooting their bows, or a bunch of kids, or I don't care, whatever, is one thing. Being around a woman that hits a target.
Oh yeah.
Holy moly. I'll just never forget this lady had never shot a bow, and so there's 10 women trying to encourage her. She doesn't want to do it. She's like, she's terrified she's going to look stupid or not be able to accomplish it. And she hit the target, and you would have thought that the Super Bowl had just been won in the last 10 seconds. The place erupted, and tears are streaming down this lady's face of joy of what has just happened. And then I saw it when we were on the pheasant hunt. I'm filming, and this young lady shoots a pheasant, and I'm thinking, that's cool. She killed a pheasant. She picks up her pheasant. She turns around to say something to the camera, and tears are streaming. And I was like, what, is she upset? Or, and she's like, I dreamt of this moment of just being able to shoot a gun at this bird and get one, and I did it. Well, she was so freaking happy, so proud of herself, and rightfully so.
There's so much self-doubt,
I guess.
A lot of time in anything, anything, and then when you take small steps, you build confidence each time, and because there's a lot of people who have said to me, I don't know if I could shoot a bird. I don't know if I could shoot a deer. I don't know if I could shoot whatever. And then when you do it, it's a whole nother level of empowerment and confidence. And the confidence is through the roof by the end of the weekend. I mean, it's just beyond
and they usually
measure.
End up shooting really well because they do a good job of listening and taking instruction.
Yeah.
And so then they end up doing really good, and I think they always surprise themselves.
Yeah.
Do you have an appointment still?
I do.
You better go.
I
think.
So thank you guys for having me on. It's a lot of fun. And again,
we'll have to do it again. We didn't get through hardly anything.
Anything, but no, it's been fun talking about these things, and hopefully it encourages somebody or inspires somebody to try hunting or get back on the bus if they fell off of it or whatever. So
Heck yeah.
But I have an appointment, so I got to get going.
Okay.
We'll have you back.
Yeah, we know where you live.
Find you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you good?
And just take yours off.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
you're
we're
going
just
to do a
gonna
wacky
clothing
fact?
stuff. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Don't
So
forget to say my website again.
Yeah. Okay. She says make sure we plug her website again. Nick, we'll show you the website so you can put it in the description for all you men and women out there to go check it out and get yourself signed up for one of the events. They're doing all kinds of new ones.
well, we had a whole list of questions. I don't think we ever even got to.
No.
I think Warren asked one, you asked one. That was it.
No.
And so, which I live with her. I love her to death, but sometimes her stories are longer than mine. And
Where does she get that from, huh? David is
No,
a rambling man.
But you don't teach someone that, so that just says that it's our era, I guess. So
yeah,
so anyhow,
they just like to hear themselves talk.
there's a lot more. Karin carries a lot more insight to hunting, especially from a women's perspective, than we even got close to getting into today. So, but again, guys, we're going to be wrapping up here in just a second. So don't forget, go to the Raised Hunting website. We have the canine line. We have Knox. We have all kinds of scents. The apparel stuff is there. Deer season is coming, so we are getting close to starting some stuff where we'll be talking more specifically about whitetail deer and some different things like that coming up on the next few podcasts. But Warren, do we have a wacky fact yet?
Yes. In 1951, a 66-year-old Swedish man named Gustaf Håkansson tried to enter a 1,000-mile bicycle race, but was rejected by the organizers for being too old. He rode anyways, unofficially, and after pedaling continuously for over 6 days, reached the finish line a full day ahead of the other competitors, earning the nickname Steel Grandpa.
Dang.
There's another guy out there, and I don't remember his name, that he went to enter I want to say it was the first 100-mile race, or maybe it was longer. But anyhow, he gets there, and he is not a runner. He has no shorts on. He doesn't have tennis shoes on. He has boots on. He's a sheep farmer. And they're like, what do you do? He says, well, I run after my sheep all the time. And so I figure I could do this with no problem. I've run after them sometimes for 3 days, 4 days. And they're like, I don't think you're going to do so well. He ends up winning the dang thing by 4 hours.
100-mile race?
It was longer than that. It might have been 200. But anyhow, he ends up winning by 4 hours, and they asked him, they were like, how did you do it? And he's like, I don't know, I just ran.
And how old was this guy?
He was 50s, I think, 40s or 50s. But anyhow, the reason that he won, nobody told him that you could take a nap, that you could stop and sleep. Every other runner slept, and he didn't, because he thought that's what you were supposed to do. And so he just ran until he ran for 3 days straight, whatever it was, to finish it. And
What a beast.
yeah,
That's unbelievable. I can't even fathom trying to run 100 miles.
No thanks.
I can think of, I mean, I've considered it. Not 100 miles. I'm going to start with going from the house to here. That's 15.
You said you were going to do that this summer.
Yeah, I think I will.
100 miles is a big difference from there.
Yeah, 10 times that, roughly.
All right.
What? Anything you got, or are you good? We lost our cameraman, so I guess we're going to just, I think we had someone come to the door, and he's also our butler, so he had to go. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope that Karin enlightened you. Again, Karin Holder Ministries, the Rise Ministries now. So that's where you can find her, or just shoot us a message at Raised Hunting, and we'll make sure we get you to the right person in the right way.
It'll be in the description. We got you.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week on the Raised Hunting Podcast.